Right, so here we have our course. We're on the fourth section of top blocks. We've got our title, Getting Started section, which is the first section, and I got rid of all the side blocks. These are technically called sections, so top blocks is not actually accurate. And if you scroll down, you see that I have a couple things that I want accessible throughout the class. So now would be probably a worthwhile time to talk about what goes up there. A lot of people will go ahead and put things like the syllabus, links to the library, a big graphic and all that here. I'm going to tell you, don't do that. Let me tell you why. You put it here, you put something big here, and I'll give you a simple example. Let's just pretend that this was just a bunch of junk, right? And I'm going to put a bunch of junk. And just pretend you've got like 10 different links here. And we save changes. And so now, everybody who goes to your class from the first day on has to look at all this junk no matter what. Doesn't matter if they've read it, doesn't matter if they downloaded it, doesn't matter if they don't care about it. They've got to scroll down through that top section to get through your junk. The worst example of this is a friend of mine who teaches geology. She put a picture of the Grand Canyon up there, and it was to scale. In other words, it was life size. So it was so big, that's all that was there. It was the Grand Canyon, which kind of does it justice, but is not really what you want for a course. However, there are certain things you want your students to have access to, like a syllabus, like course guidelines, like library references. And I'm telling you now, this is not the place. The only thing you really ought to put up here is the title of your course. Why? Because this title up here that your school puts usually doesn't tell them really what course it is. In this case, we have to kind of decipher, and it's not even Web 110. In this case, it's CTI. But either way, it's nice to have the name of the course somewhere. And there's probably not any really great place to put it. Second, this whole section here cannot be minimized. All these others, like this one, we can hide it. The student can hide it. We can expand it, but that one you cannot hide. And since you cannot hide it, it's a courtesy to your participants to not force them to scroll through stuff just to get down to the next section. So keep that minimal. You can always put stuff on the getting started if you want. So leave that, and if you have some simple, nice graphic and you really want to put that, that's fine. In this case, I'm using this book, Technology in Action. I can go look at their site. This is the book. It's possible there's a cool graphic here. I could, slice and dice the roller coaster and what have you, but I'm going to suggest that you just don't unless you have a really good reason to. However, you do want your syllabus to be there, so this maybe is a good place to put your syllabus. So you could put a label here, just insert a label, and do that as a link to your campus syllabus site, or you could upload it as a file here. Or what I would suggest doing is we'll do add an activity. We'll add a resource and compose a web page, and we'll call that syllabus for CTI 110, and this is the syllabus. And then you cut and paste all the stuff, blah, 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 including all your links and everything there. And you have this. And then, as I'm going to do with all my resources, I have it pop up in a new window. I'm going to allow resizing and scrolling, but I'm going to turn off all that other stuff because they don't need any of that. And I might, just as a courtesy, make it a little bit longer and a little bit wider because, hey, there's got more room on these new monitors. I'll save and display so I can see what it's going to look like. Sure enough, it pops up, and if I had all my syllabus content, it would be there, right? A lot of schools for SACs and other requirements don't have the syllabi as a single document here. It has to be publicly available, so we'll make a link to that. So now the syllabus is here, but I want it under Read and Review these resources. So I'll move it up, put it under Read and Review, and yeah, some of you have the cool Ajax thing where you drag stuff around. At the moment, either I don't have it turned on or we don't have access to it. So there you are with that thing. Then I'm going to always start with a forum called Introductions. And actually, I like that other thing I had, Profile and Objectives. Standard forum for general use. I'm going to put each person posts one discussion. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself by copying the following bullets into your profile and addressing each. And then I'll put personal background, professional, and so on. And I'll finish this up in the next lab.